Lily was an ordinary Uber driver in her 30s, single, and living alone in a small apartment left by her parents. Her life was simple and monotonous. She spent most days driving passengers around with little time for social activities or entertainment. Occasionally, she would stand in front of the mirror, staring at her tired face, feeling the inevitable marks of time on her skin. Dark circles, sagging skin, fine lines, terms that had once seemed far away were now part of her daily life. One night, Lily received a passenger order. The man was dressed in an expensive suit, wearing glasses, and looked sophisticated. As the car started, the man's voice came from the back seat, deep and magnetic. He introduced himself as a dermatologist, who ran his own clinic and was in town for a conference. The two of them started chatting casually. Perhaps Lily's life had been too dull for too long, as she suddenly felt as though she had met a confidant, sharing details of her life with this stranger. She even mentioned her unsuccessful attempts at matchmaking 8 times in the past year, all of which had failed. She laughed at herself after saying this, feeling a lightness she hadn't felt in ages. How do you usually take care of your skin?" the man suddenly asked. Lily paused, a bit surprised by the question. She glanced at him through the rearview mirror and smiled bitterly. "Me, I don't have much time for that, too busy working. Just look at my skin, it's getting worse every day." The man didn't respond immediately, but smiled as if her answer didn't surprise him at all. When they arrived at the destination, the man handed her a delicately packaged box. "Try this mask. It's our latest product, still in development. It's free, and I guarantee you'll see results. Thanks for being so honest with me, and good luck." Lily took the box. It was luxurious, with a faint, pleasant fragrance. She hesitated for a moment, but curiosity won over. In the end, she nodded and thanked him. That night, Lily returned home, feeling a mix of anticipation and nervousness as she opened the mysterious box. Inside were several transparent face masks, exuding a soothing scent. Carefully, she applied one to her face. The cool sensation felt incredibly comfortable, as though the mask was absorbing all her day's fatigue. 20 minutes later, when she removed the mask and looked in the mirror, she could hardly believe her eyes. Her skin had never looked so smooth and firm. The fine lines seemed to have disappeared, and she looked several years younger. She couldn't resist gently touching her face. It felt soft and delicate, a sensation she hadn't experienced in years. Lily was amazed by the mask's results. The next day, she went about her usual routine, driving passengers around, and several of them couldn't help but compliment her on how great her skin looked. Some even asked if she had tried any new beauty treatments. Lily felt a quiet joy, as if she had discovered a secret weapon to regain her youth. Back home, she couldn't wait to apply the mask again. Over the next few days, she continued using it, and her confidence soared as her skin improved day by day. The wrinkles and dullness that had once made her self-conscious seemed to vanish, and everything felt perfect. However, it wasn't long before Lily noticed something strange. At first, her skin became overly sensitive. Even the lightest touch would cause a sharp pain. She began to worry that the discomfort might be related to the mask, but each time she looked in the mirror at her rejuvenated face, all her concerns melted away. But the stinging sensation didn't go away. It grew stronger. And then something worse happened. One night, while washing her face, Lily noticed a slight, unsettling movement under her skin, as though something was crawling beneath the surface. She froze, staring at herself in the mirror, feeling a wave of fear wash over her. She pressed her fingers gently on the moving spots, but everything looked normal on the outside. Terrified, she decided to stop using the mask, but as soon as she did, her skin deteriorated rapidly. It became dry and rough, with the wrinkles that had once disappeared now returning, deeper than before. Even worse, small cracks began to appear on her skin, like parched earth. Panicked, Lily rushed to put the mask back on, hoping to reverse the rapid aging. The mask's effects were immediate, restoring her skin to its smooth, youthful state. But it was only temporary. Every time she removed the mask, she could feel the unsettling crawling sensation under her skin growing stronger, as if something was slowly taking over her body. Lily was in a full-blown panic. She knew that something far worse was happening than she had initially imagined. Desperate for answers, she scoured the internet for any information related to the mask. eventually stumbling upon a post in a secretive beauty forum. The post revealed that the mask wasn't an ordinary beauty product. It was an illegal experiment developed by a biotech company. The mask contained nano-level parasitic organisms that could penetrate the skin and enter the host's body. These organisms fed on the host's nutrients and cells to replicate themselves, giving the illusion of rejuvenating the skin. The mask's short-term beauty benefits were actually the result of the parasites continually drawing nourishment from the host to temporarily repair the skin's surface. However, these organisms didn't truly heal the skin. They merely patched up the damage for a while. Once the mask was no longer used, the parasites would die without their nutrient source. Their remains would cause severe skin conditions, possibly leading to total skin collapse. Reading this, Lily felt a wave of dizziness. She realized that she was a victim of this illegal experiment, and her body was spiraling out of control. She desperately wanted to stop using the mask, but the thought of rapid aging, or worse, total skin collapse, left her trapped in a harrowing dilemma. In the days that followed, Lily was consumed by fear and despair. Her skin hardened with each passing moment. The soft, smooth texture she once had was now replaced by a stiff, plastic-like surface. Transparent lines began to form on her face, and her skin grew colder and lifeless. She visited doctors, but they found nothing wrong. Her medical tests all came back normal. But Lily knew something terrible was happening inside her body. She could feel the tiny parasitic organisms slowly crawling beneath her skin, consuming her nutrients and turning her into a hollow shell. Every time she touched her face, it felt as if she were touching a cold, hard substance, no longer the warm, elastic skin of a human. She knew there was no escape. Whether she continued using the mask or stopped, the nightmare wouldn't end. Continuing meant allowing the parasites to invade deeper into her body. Stopping meant her skin would quickly collapse, leaving her a dried-out corpse. Lily's condition worsened day by day. Her facial skin became transparent, revealing the veins and the writhing parasites underneath. The infection spread quickly to her neck and shoulders. Every time she looked in the mirror, she no longer saw the confident person she once was, but a monster slowly being consumed from within. One night, Lily stood in front of the mirror, staring at her increasingly transparent face. A crushing sense of helplessness overwhelmed her. She knew there was no going back. In a final attempt, she applied the mask once more, hoping to stop the transformation. But when she removed it, she found her skin had turned completely transparent, clinging tightly to her face like a sheet of plastic. In the end, Lily lost all her human features. Her body had been overtaken by the parasites, turning her into their new host. Her skin, devoid of life, was nothing more than a hollow shell, while the writhing organisms beneath continued to devour her from within. In her final moments, Lily felt only coldness and helplessness. She knew she could no longer escape her doomed fate.